This wipe, as a solo, I was going to try and claim one of the most sought after base locations this zerg-infested server had to offer. This ice lake, sitting deep in the snow biome right beside Arctic Research Base, was surrounded by everything a zerg could ever want. Claiming it was going to be no simple task, but against all odds I was going to take on the challenge and try and obtain it for myself. However, that goal was not going to be easy, and I'd be met with adversity along the way where I'd need to go to war with everyone around me just to get it, and even more so, to defend it. Hello all, we are back, and I am keen as hell for this wipe. I'm on Rustoria SEA Long, a server I haven't played for about a year since the 10k sub special, where I practically got foundation wiped by a 25-man Chinese zerg, and I also accidentally sunk Tesla's tugboat, and everyone in the comments pointed it out to me. He had to come and save me. But yeah, I'm going to put a base on the P22 Ice Lake. It's probably where all the zergs are going to want to put their base, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And if you like this sort of stuff, solo versus content, please like and subscribe. But for now, let's try get to that ice lake. A grub in his natural habitat. To be honest, I'm like a little bit conflicted about the best way to get this ice lake. I think I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to do, but if I put a base there, it'll get raided pretty much straight away on this server. But this thing happens about 6 to 8 hours into wipe on these servers. I call it the purge. It's where like zergs get their boom and they just lay waste to anything near their build priv. And if there is a base on that ice lake that isn't a full-on zerg, it will not last the day. So I'm thinking I build a tower next to Arctic with externals to protect it, so even if it does get raided, it's whatever. And then I move down onto the ice lake with blueprints and materials to actually defend the base with after the purge. It always happens, like you watch. But I think that might be the better play than just losing my base on wipe day. Actually, now that I think about it, if I was to put a base there right now, I'd not be able to access any monuments. I'd be completely boxed in. So I think we go with plan A. We put the knob rocket. You'll soon see why it's called that. A starter base on the hill of Arctic, and we'll just focus on getting a solid foundation of blueprints and farm, and then go from there. Oh, this spot is perfect. I can literally see everything. And the whole server will be able to see the knob rocket. Alright, we're looking good. This base isn't really designed to like defend big online raids. The main base I built on the ice lake is, but this is just like a sturdy place to get a good foundation, blueprints, it's strong, it's annoying because it's got brutalist peaks up the top. But it does the job. But I think when the sun comes up, we'll go out and get some more farms so I can get some more doors and build this thing up a bit. Oh, yep, someone's moving in. I don't see 30 people, so it's a good sign. We'll try and get some farm while I have the chance. Not bad at all. I'm kind of curious how many people are in that base on the ice lake. I don't think it's a full-blown zerg, but where my base is here, everyone's going to be like coming through here to get to Arctic. So like, It's going to be interesting. I reckon I'm going to make some friends by the end of today. While it does turn out to be the correct decision to start how I did, it doesn't take away from the fact that my base was now in the direct line of foot traffic to get to Arctic from this side of the snow. With the changes to the cost of the blueprint system last force wipe, bigger groups can now get their boom faster than ever, and I knew this and wanted my base to be strong enough to deter any early game raids, so I put that as my focus and got to work on strengthening it up. I don't know who's with who, but there's two coming over that hill, two on the base. I've just killed two. Either this is like, this might be a 6 or a 5 man? Maybe 5, I don't think that first guy was with him. I think it's safe to say that we've got our hands full. I'm not surprised given where I put my base, but yeah, I think the goal, just get this base stronger, hopefully get a tier 2 of garage doors, and survive that first wave of raids that will probably come in like 5 to 6 hours. If we get over that hurdle, I think we're good. There are so many people around here, like, I think I just seen like 12 people on my screen in 10 seconds. I don't think they all belong to the ice lake. I still think it's a 6 to 8 man on the ice lake, for now at least. But yeah, this wipe day is going to be a slog. But it ain't my first rodeo, we'll get it done. That was a close call, but I got it done in the end. The clothing's really big though, because I can use it to get rad protection, to sneak into Arctic and recycle at night. I wouldn't be able to do it at day, but that's probably really the only way I'm going to get cloth out here. I actually don't have a furnace yet. I'll get these deer and try get like a bear, get that furnace down, get a second floor on some doors, and then at that point it should be strong enough to like maybe deter a really early game raid. Like given where my base is, it's like a pretty prime raid target. Nice, got the furnace. The leather's good as well, once again clothing. I'll be in Arctic for a lot of this wipe, and the more clothing the better. This point of the wipe was essentially a base race, and while all the groups around me were focusing on building up their base, I was too. It was a fine line to balance. My base needed to look big enough that it would deter a smaller raid, but not big enough that it looked like it had a lot of loot sitting in it next to Arctic and attracting a bigger raid. So I continued to focus on my base while starting to find ways to get my tier 2 workbench. I really want my tier 2 sooner rather than later, and getting it around here is not going to be easy. I think I can try and loot the fragments out of the crates at Airfield and Arctic, and if I don't get them I can just pull the crude I get from the 2 monuments, get a snowmobile or horse or something like that, and just go right over to Outpost. I could do it in a night cycle I think, and just buy the fragments that way. It's probably the play, but for now, second level on this base, it's a bit weak. Alright, got the farm. I'm going to chuck the second level on this base. It's not bad for now, but I think I'm going to do one more farm run so I can honeycomb the bottom floor. I need a couple more bears because I want more furnaces to get more metal, and then I can metal up the core as well. And at that point I'll be pretty happy with it, and then we'll have to focus on that bench and getting garage doors. That's exactly what we needed. I think I'm pretty much close to got enough for what I need. I'm going to go back and do the honeycombing in the dark. Like, I don't like building in the dark because you can't see for the viewer, but I don't think I'll be able to do it in the day with that isolate group there. That's huge for me. The furnaces, like, I can metal up this core, get a few more doors, and I think the base is looking pretty good. But while we've still got the dark, I'm going to honeycomb this base. I went one stage further than originally planned and got a bit more farm and put the bottom ring on the lower floor to make this base a fairly expensive raid if you tried to go through walls. Its biggest weakness now though was a door raid, so I turned my attention to trying to get comps, scrap and the fragments I would need for my tier 2 workbench, and plan A for acquiring them was to be a rat around Arctic Research Base and Airfield. Alright, the base is looking pretty good. I think it is in that sweet spot where it's like not too big to attract too much attention from a massive group, and it's also not so small that it's like easy to raid. I think we've done well. I'll metal up the core, the metal should be done, and then yeah, get cracking on trying to get this tier 2 workbench, which I have a feeling will be an experience. Oh, that's good. The salvage pick's even better. What? He's loaded. I don't know what that guy was doing, running through the snow on this server in the daylight with all of that, but it's mine now. I'm going to keep that momentum going. I'm going to go hit up airfield, see if we can get some fragments. Ooh, solar panel. If we can pull an electric furnace, that's even better. Not bad for the first run of airfield. I didn't get a fragment, but I got a lot of cloth, scrap, and metal frags and high qual. Just gotta get back to base. Oh, yes. See, if you say it, you'll manifest it. I can get auto smelting now before tier 2. That's huge. That is actually a lifesaver for me. It's really hard to get wood out here. If you cut the forest down outside of Arctic, anyone in Arctic hears it, and then the other forest is next to the isolate group. So having this auto smelter is big. I'm going to capitalize on this momentum, and I reckon when the sun goes down in a minute, we'll hit up Arctic and see if we can keep snowballing on the luck. First crate I open, I pull a G door. That is huge. We're going straight back to base with that. I swear they've changed something about how Arctic works. I was doing it last wipe and I'm seeing it this wipe, but it used to just be that the crates would recycle. They would respawn on timers, but now they don't seem to respawn as often unless someone swipes the card and the monument resets. So it's a lot harder to grub this thing and actually get good loot, but I mean, I'm getting some stuff. It's just not as good as it used to be. At this point, I was getting decent luck just pulling tier 2 items from military crates, so I see no reason to stop. With the scrap I'd attained so far, I went down the tier 1 tech tree and a lot of the engineering tech tree, and while this part of the wipe was a grind for a solo, it's the part where the clans would start to look at doing their early raids. I mentioned it at the start of the video, but about 3 to 4 hours into wipe, what I call the purge begins. And we were not far away from that, and like clockwork, the clans came, and I hope the strategy of keeping my base the size it was paid off. The RNG gods are on my side at the moment, and when that happens, it's rare, you have to capitalise on it. So, Arctic's on cooldown, so I'm going back to airfield and seeing what else we can get, and also I'm getting a nice pile of crude. The more of that the better, because if all else fails there, we can get the fragments from Outpost. But yeah, back to airfield. That's how I ride them in real life as well. If you're ever in Australia on a train, you see a motorbike fly over the top, probably me. Is that the ice lake getting raided? Oh, it is them getting raided. The purge begins. Hopefully they leave my base alone, don't come up here and have a look at it. I mean, I wouldn't raid that thing either. But, I want to keep tabs on how this goes. I think I want to watch it. If they get raided and, like, they quit, I might be able to get my footprint in their decaying base. Like, once the foundations go, and that's how I get the ice lake. Hopefully the raiders do win. I haven't heard any seals or anything like that go off, or any like door seals. I reckon they've lost. Alright, yep. They've definitely been raided. There's not much left of their core. We'll have to just wait and see, I guess, if they rebuild or not. I hope they don't, because I can get the ice lake the easy way if they don't. But yeah, hopefully I'm not next. I mean, I've taken steps to avoid that, but you never know. The current group on the ice lake had been raided, and I was going to keep a very close eye on what they did after this. My plan was to wait for their base to decay enough so that I could put the starter of my main base inside their decaying compound, and then I'd raid whatever externals were left over. That essentially put me on a timer. I was likely only going to get one opportunity to secure this ice lake after these guys had been raided, so I really kicked it into overdrive to try and get that tier 2 bench. I did a few more runs of airfield, got some decent items, but no fragments. But at this point, I had enough crew to be able to buy them from a shop at Outpost. I quickly upgraded the second floor of this base, and then started preparing for an Outpost run to get some fragments.
Bro, your base looks so
That's why I put it on hill for everyone to see. It's not even finished yet. Wait till the full knob gets up. It'll generally look like a knob rocket. It is an eyesore, but it is a work of art at the same time. I'm pretty much at the point now where I can go to Outpost and get at least 4 fragments, I think, if that shop stays in stock. I'm going to wait for the next night cycle to do it and use this one to put an external on the base to protect it if I do get raided. And then we'll just probably explore and see if I can pull another fragment from a crate during the next day cycle. And then yeah, get that tier 2 bench. I'm on a timer, I need to get it. Guns, garage doors, anything I need to defend my main base, because the second that one on the ice lake decays, I am moving in. I kind of just wing these externals a bit, like this main footprint doesn't get any bigger. They're mainly just here to protect the workbench in case I do get raided. They don't have to be special, just a little bit stronger. I'm going with a bunker, and I can put some like rebuild kits in the bunkers if I do get raided. Someone else is getting slammed next to me. I haven't had much of a chance to look around. Early on when I went over there, I seen what looked like a starter of a bigger base at Satellite Dish. But I might go over and have a look and see if it's them getting raided. I don't actually know where any of these big groups are living yet. Like the guys who raided the ice lake, they're on the back side of airfield somewhere. Then we got these guys who I have no idea. If they're raiding this early, they are deep. Oh, I'm sure actually a bunch of vending machines, probably 20 or so, will pop up on the minimap soon and we'll know exactly where they are. But it's equally concerning that they are here because I am here too. But hopefully that eyesore that I've created on the hill is a bit of a deterrent. But actually now that I have the externals, I might just, with the rest of this day cycle, put that brutalist shooting floor up. And then when the sun goes down, head over to Outpost to get these fragments. Yeah, I reckon that's the play. We need that tier 2 bench. Behold, the knob rocket in its final form. It needs some turrets, but it doesn't really get much bigger than this. Alrighty, sun's down. I've gone through the map. There's one shop I can get 3 fragments from with the amount of crude I've got. It's not 5, but it's better than none. And it shouldn't take too long to pull 2 from a crate at Arctic or Airfield once I get back. But that'll be big. That tier 2 is, yeah, I desperately need it. The guns, all of it, the garage doors. I'm really starting to fall behind on, like, firepower. Once I got back to base with my 3 fragments, I went over to Airfield and fluked my last 2 fragments from crates. I now had my tier 2 workbench, but with wipe day coming to an end, I still wanted to fortify this base before logging out. I spent some more time at Airfield and Arctic trying to get stuff for turrets and gears so I could make garage doors, so this base at least stood the chance of surviving the night. Oh, thank God that grind's over. It's a very painful grind as a solo to get these on Zerg servers at the moment. All the card rooms are on cooldown. Like, your best bet's just to pull them out of a crate, really, the fragments, or buy them with crude. Unless you wait all day to get access to the monuments, but we've got it. We'll do some tech treeing, get some guns, some G-doors, and then look at fortifying this base up before I log out in the next couple hours. And when I wake up tomorrow, that base should be nearly decayed on the ice lake if they've stopped playing. And then we can put the starter in there and really start focusing on getting control of it. Nice, I've got a few P2 rat kits now and a dream. I think we'll head back over to Airfield and see if we can get an auto turret or 2. I mean, I got my externals now, at least the base is moderately safe. But there's a lot of nodes that spawn on this hill in this deflate. So I'm going to be expecting a lot of clan farm runs through this area. Oh, you had a Tommy. Out in the full grub kit, my man. I think we only need 1 run of Airfield really to get the scrap for this Python that I need to tech tree. Then I can make a few auto turrets and stick him in the base. And I'll be way more comfortable with it surviving the night. That's a big goal ticked off the list. Alright, I'm going to make a few. I think I can make 3 and put them around the base. Alright, I've got 3 turrets down. I actually feel way safer now. I think we'll put some auto furnaces down and this base will start to feel like home. Until it's torn to shreds by zerg. I'm actually pretty happy with the progress I made today. Considering where I put my base, it's not exactly an easy spot to start, especially as a solo. But force wipe's like 4:30 AM for Australia, and I've been up for a while and I'm pretty fried. But there's one last thing I want to do before I go to sleep. I got a battering ram when I was running around airfield. I'm going to go take that battering ram and break into a 2x2 that's on the ice lake next to that base. I'm pretty sure it's their starter. Could have loot in it, they could have moved stuff in there, who knows. But yeah, we'll do that and then probably go to sleep and then get started on this ice lake tomorrow. There wasn't really a whole lot in this base. I got a SAR and a few other minor things, but before sleeping, I went and jumped into the raider base near Satellite Dish and ended up getting more from that. I was pretty tired at this point, but the base was in a pretty strong spot for its footprint, so I went to sleep. Day 1 went quite well, but little did I know this wipe was going to evolve into probably the most insane wipe I've ever played. I'm not just saying that to rope people in, I genuinely mean it to the point where I shot more rockets in this wipe than I've ever shot before, and without spoiling too much, from tomorrow onwards I was in the crosshair of every zerg in the snow. It looks like we've survived the night. I still have build proof and I'm not dead. Well, I've got 2 major goals for today. Goal 1 is to at least get the starter on the ice lake. I may have to raid some things for that. We'll go out in a minute and have a look at what state that's in. And goal 2 is to get my tier 3 workbench, because I want raid defense kits when I go to build that base on the ice lake. So we'll be trying to get things like red cards today, farming up, all that sort of stuff. But for now, I think I'm just going to go have a look at this ice lake, make some custom kits for the day, and then get started. I mean, look at the knob rocket in all its glory. It's a sculpture at this point. But oh yeah, their base is decaying. That's good, they haven't tried to rebuild. Well, I think as the day progresses then, as those externals start to decay, well, I might even just blow one up as it's about to decay so we can guarantee the ice lake, but that's looking good. I think we can get that ice lake in probably the next 4 or 5 hours once all that stone's gone. The plan worked out in the end. Well, at least for now anyway. I don't plan to be up in that tower all day, but I do want to create like the feeling amongst the players around the ice lake of don't go that way, the rat's probably in the tower. Like, I want the least amount of people feeling like the ice lake is safe for them, until I at least move in and get control of it. So yeah, I will be shooting people from that tower from time to time if they get too close to the base. But for now, I'm going to finish these custom kits and then we'll take one out and go to airfield and try get a red card. To get these advanced fragments, I'm pretty much going to use the same strategy I used to get the basic ones. I'm going to try and get them through conventional means with a red card like ore rig and stuff like that. But if I can't get them, I'll just buy them with crew. It's second day on this server, and like, you know, those red card monuments will be unlocked by the zergs. We'll try anyway, but I really want that tier 3 before I log out tonight, because the second I build that main base, I need a couple raid defense kits in it. I can hear Arctic going off. I might quickly go see who's doing that while I've still got some dark left. Make use of these MVGs. I will take a free 20 high call any day.
You're playing the wrong game, bro. Your playstyle is so bro. You don't even know how to play the game, bro. Like what, bro? Like why you play like this, bro? You're just waiting for people to do the monument, so you just go and kill them from behind. But when it comes to basic, you are actually so bad. You are literally have like 0 game sense. You need to learn more about this game, bro.
Here's the thing, I'm not even trying to be a pest. Wait until I actually try to be a pest, but like, I'll be honest, I was getting a bit bored and all that. I think he needs to add a few more dragons to his story.
Are you gonna go out or no? I'm actually being tired of camping over here. I might just stay all the day over here until it comes like nighttime. So, what are you gonna do? Like, come on, bro. I'm getting bored over here. Like, come on, bro. Can you go out, bro?
I had a 4-man moving in next door, and judging by one of their guys' meltdowns on my doorstep, I don't think they would have been the best of neighbours. I had to do something about that base before it got out of hand, and without any boom, I resorted to being a full-blown rat. I roof camped their door with my SKS for quite a while until they finally broke and moved out. I took a bit of time setting up the automation in my base, and then set off on trying to get my second red card. What a rat. I'm actually impressed. He was definitely camping either the recycler or the puzzle fuse holder. So I don't know if he's alone. So I'm just going to sit up in this tower and wait a little bit. And if it cools down, I'll go do the puzzle. There's definitely a second. I don't know if he died to that double barrel though. Oh no, he's still alive. I've just got to go. Not a bad haul. I'm going straight back to see if I can get more. Oh, scared the crap out of me. There's so many people on airfield. I think they're all from that clan base that's going down on the other side of airfield near the mountain. This is a new base as well. We've got this base going down next to me, which this would have been on the ice lake if that other base wasn't there. And then there's the one behind airfield going down as well, with like their big roof camp tower. And there's a zerg around here somewhere raiding everyone as well. This place is about to become chaos, and I'm going to try build on the ice lake right in the middle of it. Oh, I'm one door away. Imagine if there wasn't a door there. I'm going to come back with a shotgun and try and camp it. See if I can get back in here. It was worth a shot. There's a lot of them. Yeah, so I think this place is about to descend into absolute chaos. Like you got the clan base I just jumped into pushing onto Arctic to push the group out that's on there now that pushed the other group out. And then there's like a fourth group that's popped up on the backside of airfield who's also been going between airfield and Arctic. So now you got this like four-way battle for Arctic. And I'm just kind of like stuck on the edge of it in my knob rocket, just watching it all with my binoculars. And there's like another couple zergs raiding everywhere. It's just chaos. There's just people everywhere. Like, the second I put my base up on the ice lake, I don't think I'll be getting much sleep at all. But I'm actually watch to see who wins this battle. Need to hire a professional commentator to give me some voiceovers. Oh, looks like they're re-kitting, going back for another push. They must have got wiped the first time. Whoever's in that building better have an M2 and heavy pot or he ain't living. Oh, the airfield clan, they're coming back for a play. It's getting heated. Oh, he's got him pinned behind a wall. It's starting to kick off. I'm a bit too invested in this fight and I'm not even in it. It's like sitting on the balcony watching a punch on down the street. I think there's a third group that's just come in to flank this from satellite dish. I don't think I'll be doing Arctic for a while. As mentioned, this area was descending into a genuine war zone with 4 clans fighting over Arctic research base, and little old me got front row seats to the showdown. The issue now was that the clan base on the ice lake had almost finished decaying, so if I was going to make the ice lake my home, I pretty much had to secure it in the next couple of hours, and given what this area was like, that was not going to be easily achieved. I really needed my tier 3 workbench, so the second the sun went down, I embarked on a journey to get it. But as seen earlier in the wipe, there was a big zerg somewhere on the backside of airfield, and they were about to upset the power dynamic in this area. Alright, it's almost dark. This is like one of the few times in Rust where I've been like, please go to plan. Like, I'm gonna try to get to outpost and get some fragments. But if I die, I'll lose all my crew and I'll be set back like a day, so please go to plan. I need to get there, get in, get it done quick, and just get home. And, well, that's concerning. Someone running past my base in the dark as it is. Yeah, wish me luck, genuinely. So there we go. Oh, that was a clincher. I really wanted that to go to plan. Like, I don't know why the drone shop took so long. The sun was pretty much up as I got back. Oh well, that's the tier 3 bench. That is huge. That's a massive milestone ticked off the list. I've just been AFK eating my lunch. I could hear rockets through the speakers. I thought it was me, but it's not. I think my neighbour's getting raided. Yep, they're definitely getting raided. Like, I think there's 6 or 7 in that base when I jumped in there. Like, that must be... It has to be the Zerg doing this on the other side of airfield. Unless there's another one I don't know about. We'll try to get some names and have a look, but I'm going to have a good attempt at trying to grub this. I think that name's from the airfield, Zerg. I have to check my list.
Hey, I'm picking my friends. So if you want to peek, feel free. Hey, DB vs pump. Oh, okay, that wasn't fair. You're cheating. You're actually cheating.
My closest neighbours have been raided by what I assume was the airfield zerg. At this point, you might be noticing a pattern. If you built a base of any substantial size near this ice lake, you'd have a zerg on your doorstep within the day. And with the timer almost finished on being able to take over this ice lake, the chance my base even survived a day was looking grim. I went down the tier 3 tech tree, and with the timer running out on the ice lake becoming free, I had to come up with a clever strategy not to lose it the second I got it. So I've been thinking about this ice lake. I have another difficult decision to make. I could go down, it's about to decay, like in the next 15 minutes, that ice lake will be free, and I'll be going down there to put something on there. It just depends what I do. Now, I can put the starter of my main base on there, then build it out and do all the externals, and risk getting TC grief because it's peak hour, and you can see the ice lake clear as day, day or night. And then get it offline straight away, because it's coming towards the end of the day. Or I could put my starter on there, and just leave it small and inconspicuous, and then go to sleep, wake up tomorrow, and then put all the externals and build it up when the server's not in peak hour. That way I risk being TC griefed. I have my tier 3 now, I have a bit more time to farm out some raid defense kits, but the downside to that is having like a very weak base sitting on the ice lake, and if a zerg really wanted it, they could just probably blow it off the ice lake with 16 rockets. So it's a gamble. But I just know, having seen what I've seen so far, that even if I attempt to build this thing up tonight, it won't be there in the morning. So we're going to take a risk and pretty much go down in 10 minutes and just stick my starter on there and hope that it lasts. I'll be honest, this is one of the more riskiest strategies I've ever tried, but this server warrants it given what's going on around me. I'm just going to keep the TC sheet metal. I'm going to stone the rest of the base. That way it doesn't look like there's much in here. And if you door raid me, you won't see many boxes, and you'll see an armoured window on the TC room, so it'll probably deter you from going further. It's my plan, it's all I've got for now. I know for a fact if I kept building this up, I wouldn't be here tonight. So we'll see if it pays off. It was a plan, but a risky one, but as I said, this server required the risk to be taken to actually get hold of the ice lake and keep it for the long term. I went to sleep after building this, but just as I woke up to start my day, I became less of a spectator and more of a participating member in the fight for this area. I heard rockets through the speakers. I've been awake for like 15 minutes. I'm pretty much still making my coffee. And it's server reset. These guys have waited for server reset. They're my rockets now. I don't think they're going to have the boom to do this. I've door sealed twice, there's 4 rockets with a G door. I've taken 10 off them. And he's going through the jump up, which means he's going to have to go through a garage door and an armoured door to get to TC. And all my good loot's upstairs, which is another 10 rockets. I reckon I just grab my good stuff, go upstairs and just hunker down and wait for the counters. I don't think they're going to be able to do this. I'm going to leave just a little bit in this core in case they do get here. I don't think they can, but if they do, they'll see like, oh, some comps and some sulfur. He's a solo, that's all they've got. And maybe they don't look elsewhere. I want to speak of the devils. There's the counters there. It's as good as new, just with 10 more rockets in it. This base isn't designed to defend onlines, it's designed to just soak offline attempts. And I know that name, RSP Controlling, I've seen him in a group before, so something tells me I ain't going to take an L. But I intentionally left this base quite empty last night. Like, it's all blueprints and the workbench, that's really all I care about, which I have now. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm just going to fix this thing up as best I can. This isn't ideal. I don't have as many auto turrets this time, and I think they're aware of my little tricks. The poor knob rockets lost a nut. They're not holding back. Yeah, okay. Oh look, this idea actually worked quite well. They didn't go through the window. I've still got control of the ice lake. What a way to find out. I think they're looking for their rockets. I hid them upstairs behind a door, so like at this point they've well and truly used more boom than it was worth. But we'll just essentially just wait for it to cool down, seal it up, and then get back to business. These guys absolutely tore my base to shreds, to the point they were only a few rockets short of a full core foundation wipe. This base was not designed to defend online raids, and I managed to get away with defending it the first attempt because I had all my auto turrets in the inner ring. When they came back the second time, I only had one auto turret left, and instead of finding the most efficient raid path, they just slammed a huge hole in the side of the base. This was not worth it for them at all, and I still had most of my important things for this wipe. My tier 3 bench, my auto smelting setup, build priv over the main base from my externals, and all my blueprints. I still had the bare minimum to rebuild with, and that's exactly what I did. I got to work getting back on my feet and progressing with the goal of taking over the ice lake. There's a couple hour time skip here. It's just me farming Arctic for comps, running airfield for scrap and cloth, farming animals, and generally staying away from anything interesting and just focusing on grinding out the basics again so I could continue my wipe. I thought at the time this would be the highlight of my day, but boy was I wrong. This was just the beginning of an eventful few days. Alright, this is pretty much a milestone now. I finished fixing up my automation, and I've been at this for a fair while. I don't know how much I add into the video before this because it's very boring content, but I'm almost at where I was before I got raided. I've just been taking a bow to Arctic because every time I go there there'll be like 4 or 5 people roll up, so that way I can just minimize my losses. But I think I'll do one more run of Arctic, and we'll be in a pretty good place after that. Oh, that's awkward for him. If I can get this MP5 back, I consider the wipe back on track and officially rebuild. Nice. We're in a pretty good spot, to be honest. I got all my comps back, plenty of farm, can get some guns, meds, all that stuff. Just pretty much got to focus on the ice lake now, I guess. Trying to secure that for the long term. This is what I call a good old-fashioned death sentence. This group next to me, they've progressed ridiculously quick. That base was probably like 1 level higher with the compound about the time I got raided. And I think it's like groups just trying to move out into the snow, and little do they realise that the old zerg dwelling off on the side of airfield will rage her the second it happens. So I'd be surprised if they last the day. How he's just let me run out of there? Oh, I do not know. Oh my god. It is kicking off outside. That clan's getting raided. They've been there for almost like 9 hours, so, you know, it tracks. That's a big fob as well. Yeah, this place is, like, technically I don't exist right now. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I'm not even going to run out there. I don't want them to think, oh, this guy's active. We'll turn around and raid him. I want nothing to do with it. I have a few little IRL commitments I need to do, like phone calls and online stuff. So I think now's the perfect time to do it. For a couple hours I'll just get that done, and then when I get back I'll have a look at the aftermath, and then pretty well get started on trying to get the ice lake. This is insane. I kind of half wish I didn't take my headset off and watched it. This would have been an absolute war. There's 2 fobs here. There's 3. There's a fob in the back. That is wild. See what I mean? Like, you build a base here, there is a zerg on your doorstep. So when it comes time in the next couple hours when I start the ice lake build, I need to lock in. The risk I took with the ice lake had paid off so far, but I didn't want to drag it out any longer and risk losing it. It was time to prepare to build the main base, but as you guys would have seen, I needed to be quick, because by the end of the day, I'd probably have a zerg building a tower next to it. I was good for comps, turrets and all the base deployables, but I needed farm. I went and got a car and a few jackhammers and farmed my brains out non-stop for a few hours until I had enough to at least build the shell. One last thing needed to be done before the build could start, and that was to remove the 2x2 that had popped up on the end of the ice lake. I think it's about time we start this build. I need to get rid of a 2x2 on the end of the ice lake that's blocking one external, but by the time I've done that the metal should have smelted anyway, and then we can get started on at least doing the footprint and the core of the main base. Not bad, nice little bit in here. Oh, I didn't want to take any chances because I really need the build proof here. So I fobbed up and everything. I didn't know if they were online or not, but we got it done. I'm pretty much going to move all the best loot into this like back room. I might keep it here, I might not move it for a while yet, to be honest. And then, yeah, we can start the main base. It's like a pretty underrated loot hiding trick, just turning a compartment into a base you've raided into like a stash room. I won't put too much in here, but I'll just leave this loot in here and I can use it as a backup. Got a spare tier 2. Works well. Now that I had complete control of the Ice Lake's build priv, it was time to start the main base build. Wish me luck. It's time. We've dodged a few bullets, but we need to get on it. And I'm taking no chances with this. I'm going to do that old tactic where I do 3 turret pods on the outside of the base so that I can cover the build, because I'm going to build this solo. And then we'll do the shell, and then I've decided instead of going for 3 externals, I'm going to do 6. I'm going to build all the externals in the first go. That way, if I do get raided early, I still keep the base, and then we'll build up the core with whatever we've got left. I think we'll at least be able to get to the shooting floor in this run of building. And I'm going with a newer version of the Underdog. It's a base I've been building for years now. It's been tried and tested against zergs for a lot of big raids. But the meta at the moment is attack helis. And like all bases, you need to evolve with the meta. And the last few raids I've lost is because I've had clans with 2 attack helis just not letting me get roof control. So I've designed and redone the roof on this base to better deal with that. I should be able to get my nade spam with this design. It's kind of like a bunker addict. I'm actually quite keen to see how it goes, but yeah, time to get started. I'll do this on the other 2 sides and then start building out the core. Alright, I think it's time we let the fun begin. If I can get 3 externals down without being griefed, I'll be happy. If I can get all 6 down, even happier. I'm going to focus on the compound and the externals before doing the core, because I want to keep the base obviously if it gets raided. But yeah, we'll start with the inner peaks and then we'll do the turret pods. I repeated what I did on all 3 sides and got my first 3 externals down. This decision of mine will probably draw some criticism, but for my protection pods to be effective, I needed them to be as close to my base as possible. They would also double up as a TC placeholder and stop a grief on my 3 extra externals. The problem now was, I had to get rid of them. I never normally build my protection pods like this, but given what I had seen around me, I was taking no chances. I picked out half the foundation health and then used 6 rockets to remove the turret pods to then build out my external huts with my 3 extra external TCs. It's up for debate if this was a waste of rockets, but I didn't want to be in a position where I spent all this time taking risks to get the ice lake to then just lose it to a TC grief or a roam party. I was taking no chances, but at the end of the day, I now had control of the ice lake with 6 extra externals, which meant my base was going nowhere easily. I had just enough farm to finish the outer peaks and then ran out, but just as I finished it, one of the zergs was on the move again. The base is looking pretty good at this point. It's gone mostly to plan. I am out of farm. I could have saved a lot of farm and just done 3 externals and built this whole core up, but I've chosen to invest it downstairs in like 3 extra externals and the compound hut and all that, so I can keep control of this ice lake if it does get raided. You'd be spending stupid amounts of boom to get rid of all these externals. It's just not worth it. But with that, I need to do some farm runs to get some more stuff, but I do also hear a big raid going on next to airfield. I'm kind of curious what's going on. I'm going to go over and have a look and see who's raiding who. I wonder how many times I can hit him from here. This base that's getting raided, they're the guys I was fighting on airfield yesterday. But they haven't been raided by the airfield zerg, so maybe they're like an alliance? Or this could even be like their zerg front base or something, I don't know. I don't know who the other guys are. I'm gonna have to start drawing this out on a map, like figuring out who lives where. Poor guy, he's got a few arrows stuck in him. Well, that was fun while it lasted. I'm not going to let them know who did it. It's not exactly the most productive use of time, so I think I'm going to go back to working on this base. Wait, what? Hang on. Where did that come from? That's not for me, is it? That window's pointing at me. Or is it Arctic? I don't know, that came out of nowhere. Well, that's awkward. They've hit the battery. That's it's hard enough to seal as it is with that giant fob. I think I'm just gonna hunker down and hide behind doors. I've hidden my loot. Hopefully they don't find it. Yeah, see how much boom they use. That's good. They're blowing low. That's what I want. Oh, they're actually getting countered. This is my chance. I might be able to get up there and seal that base before they get any further. Once they blew that battery up and I lost my turrets, it was futile, but if I can sneak in and get a seal off, I might be able to stop them from going further and actually getting the door that has the loot. I've managed to seal the core. That's good. That's 8 more rockets they need. I'll try the ring, but with that fob, I don't know. Oh, there's no way. Was he just sitting in the base? I've managed to seal the core. That's big. They need to go through another wall or a lot of doors to get back in. I think I've survived this because of the counters. I don't actually know how far they got into the core. I'm pretty sure they haven't hit the loot room upstairs either. If I can just seal a few more things off, I think we're good. Wait, they didn't even get the TC. On the little comps I did leave in here, they didn't get them either. I'm actually not too sure they got anything, really. I think they got counter before they got into the core. Oh well. The base survives another day. The moment of truth. Oh my god, it's all still there. I've lost literally nothing except for some guns. For the third time today, the knob rocket had been slammed by a group. I'm not sure who saved me, but whoever countered them bought me enough time to seal the base up that they couldn't explore any further. I dodged yet another bullet, and with the 2 boxes of loot that I hid upstairs, I didn't really lose a whole lot in this raid at all. Just some walls and my guns. At this point, I'd sunk a lot of resources into this starter trying to defend that raid. It was finally time to retire the knob rocket on my terms. I wasn't going to fully fix it up, just enough that the auto smelting system still worked so that I could farm out the remainder of my main base and then move everything down to it. This base had served me well, but unlike my starter, my main base on the ice lake was built to defend online raids. I fixed up the base just enough so that I could smelt my ore, went out on a few farm runs, and then transferred everything down to the main base, which was now home, but also a big target. It's time to finish off this base. I can get about 80% of it done, as in like all the core, the footprint, the retake rooms. I'll probably need to do a few more farm runs to like fully honeycomb it. But if I get all of that done, it'll be in a pretty good place. And it's time to just retire the knob rocket. The upkeep on it is just too much to have both of these bases going. So once we get this all built up, I'll just move all the automation and the tier 3 down to here. And this will be home. And I'll try to survive in this base.
A life well spent. It's never saying I can't retry. Take your time, 'cause it's your world.
This is the new roof design. It might look stupid, but a bit of thought's gone into it. I can throw grenades out of those little holes, and an attack heli can't just rocket and get control of my roof. No, just fill above me with barricades. I'm keen to test it out, and I'm sure this one we will.
How could you be so cold, so cold? I don't wanna be so cold, so cold. I gotta get it out, get out, get out. Gotta get it out, get out, get out. Gotta get it out, get out, get out, get out. Get it out, get out, get out, get out.
What is this guy outside doing? He's been like rocking nothing for like 5 minutes. The main part of the main base build had been completed. It was now in a state where it could likely defend an online from a smaller group, but it was still not yet in its final form where it could potentially fend off a raid from 10 or more people. The goal was to get it there, but my day was coming to an end. I moved everything out of the knob rocket and put it in my main base before letting it decay. Before going to sleep, I went for a scout just to get familiar with where all these zergs were living, as I was probably going to meet a few over the next few days with launchers on their backs. I'd been raided 3 times today and seen countless get raided around me, and now that I was well and truly in control of the ice lake, I was not expecting a quiet wipe. I mean, I'm no detective, but I think I'm being watched. Like, for those of you who don't play Rust that much, that's a camera that you can remote into from your base, and you can swivel it around and watch people. I just built the base. It's a bit concerning, to be honest. This is one of the zergs raiding everyone. Like, they've been here since wipe day. They got a lot of vending machines, and I know because they got blue sheet externals, and there's blue fobs that pop up next to these bases. I would say they're probably like the most dangerous on this side of the snow, but there's also that second one next to airfield, and there's also one next to outpost near me. We'll go check them out. I haven't actually been over this hill for a couple days, and that base is a lot bigger than when I last looked at it. This is who I've been calling the airfield zerg. I'm pretty sure these are the ones raiding everyone around me. And they're likely the ones who are going to raid me. But yeah, it's been a big day. Base is good, upkeep's good. It's time to sleep. I don't know if it's just my brain not working because I've just woken up, or they're just doing weird stuff, but I don't really know what's going on. That 2x2 is new. There's no real fob. I've heard like 1 or 2 rockets max. I don't know, I'm just gonna wait a little bit and see what happens. This is so weird, like, they blew off an external door, and then built a 2x2 with a wooden roof and no beds and no loot, and then ran away? Like, is this a dream? Oh, I'm going back to sleep. Alright, another rust day. I've had my coffee and my wheat bix. I'm good to go. I don't know what that thing was last night with the 2x2 and getting my external hut blown in. Random. But I imagine a bit more of that will go on today. Now that this base has been up for, I don't know, probably 9 or 10 hours. And everyone has seen it. I imagine it's going to be raided at some point soon. So first things first. Get the open core done. All the automation. And then I'll try and fill this base with as much loot as I can get. I don't really want to farm anything. I want to get it through raiding today. I still need a bit to defend this base. And I would rather just take other people's stuff. Because I'm over farming. So we'll do the open core first and then go from there. Nice. Got the auto smelting out of the way, the most important part. This wipe I've decided to try and put everything in this extra room, this utility room. That way if I do get raided, hopefully this doesn't get touched and I don't have to rebuild it all. But yeah, this is the open core. I have like a kind of a complicated electrical setup with automation. I use like Rust.io and I draft it out beforehand. But I'm going to go do the Dropbox system now. That way I don't have to go fumbling through my boxes the whole wipe. It's a little bit tedious to set up at first, but once you've got it going and you've got like all these pre-configured filters, it's like the best thing ever for a solo. It just saves so much time. I've got the drop boxes sorted. The auto sorter in the core should be good as well. I'll just go check that, and if it all works, I'll pretty much run the rest of the loot over from the knob rocket and let that decay, and this is now home. That's the last of the loot I had stashed, so I would say that we're officially moved in. After what felt like an eternity to get her, I now called the ice lake home. It had taken quite the effort to get to this point, but little did I know it was going to take even more effort to keep it. I spent the rest of the morning getting a few little boring odd jobs out of the way, then turned my attention to filling my base with loot. I mentioned earlier in the video, but from this point on, I wanted my primary goals to be not getting foundation wiped off the ice lake and progressing through raiding. Now I sent some wild raids this wipe, but to get started, I wanted to do something simple, so I crafted up some boom and looked for a few small raid targets. I must say, I'm proud of my effort to make this core look cool, especially in the dark with the color coding of the lights. But once the sun comes up, I have a single C4. I ran past the base on a farm run that it looked like, oh, I'd hide loot in that. I'm going to go C4 it in and see what's in there. Start simple for now, and then later on in the day we'll send a rocket raid at someone. Yeah, probably not worth it. I ran past and just had this vibe of like, that's where I'd hide loot. You don't know till you try, but we'll get this back to base and actually try and raid a target that probably has loot in it. Oh wow, he's actually pretty juiced. I'm just out trying to find a raid target. I'm assuming that's their base to the left. Maybe I raid them. I'll happily take a free AK. I need it for raid defense kits. When the sun comes up, we'll go back out. There's a base getting raided out here somewhere. I assume it's this one. If I can find potentially where the raiders live, I could raid them. They've obviously got boom. If they're not too deep, it's doable for me. I was finding random raid loot on the ground. I've been running around for a while scouting out my area and had a few potential raid targets in my crosshairs, but while I was out and about, a 2x2 next to me was being built up. This base was literally right on the edge of my build priv, and if it turned into a big main base, it could double as a fob. I needed to remove this base before it got any bigger, especially with externals, so instead of aiming for a smaller raid target, I pivoted and spent a few hours getting everything together I would need to raid this base. I think I'm pretty well close to what I need. If I raid efficiently, it should be fine. They don't have externals yet, at least last I checked. So if I can at least get to TC, then I can seal off their entrances, and if I need to make more boom, I can do that. But we'll get this back and then get processing all of this boom. I mean, like, look at it. Like, look how close they are. Like, what do they expect, to be honest? It's probably still going to take me like a good half an hour to 45 just to make everything, get it all ready into boxes. But once it's sorted, we'll send this raid. we're pretty much good to go. Once the sun's down, we'll send it. And given they're so close to my base and they're actually near an external, I'm going to build a fob right in front of their base. And then I can link my automation system up to my fob. So if I get in and get build proof, I can just hook a pipe up to their base and just suck everything out. It's one of the perks of raiding close to your base. So when the sun goes down, we'll send this. I've taken a little bit longer than usual to set this up, but I need to be prepared for if that zerg counters. And if they do, I pretty much need to be in that base and sealed. Alright, first hurdle is over. I've got control of the core. I have build priv. I do hear someone outside, so I need to be careful, but I want to pipe over now from my fob to this base, and then we'll look for ways to raid up. I don't think this is all their loot, and I'm pretty sure this 2x2 has an open core upstairs. We have to be smart about it. I don't have that much boom. Alright, that's all set up now. I can put loot in that box and it'll be transferred into my main base. I don't have to run out with any loot at all. And if this is like any other standard 2x2, there should be an open core of some sort above us. So we'll try and get up to it. Oh, nice, we're onto something. I actually need all that metal for the main base. Also covers the cost of the fob. Okay, there is an open core. I thought it would have been this floor. I thought I'd misjudged it, but no, it's up there. Just a matter of getting up there is the issue. I could go through doors. Could be expensive, I think. I don't know, maybe I just rocket that floor. But then that's like a suicide rocket adventure. I've got build priv, I've got all the doors. I might as well just suicide rocket my way up. Oh, well that saved some boom. I didn't have much left. I thought this would have been one of those open cores where you'd come in through the side. But no, you can go up the bottom. It's really starting to kick off outside. I might just quickly go down and check to see if any of them have launchers on their backs. Like the lower ring here has outer peaks. And if not, we'll keep going. I think we're all good. It's just two counter teams preoccupied with each other. Interesting. I'll blow into those other doors, but it'll probably be much the same. Something seems off. You can't have like all that metal, stone and whatnot, have a single piece of sulfur, gunpowder, even crude. They've definitely got it hidden somewhere. I mean, could be anywhere. In stashes in the floor, who knows? I'm pretty sure that guy had a launcher on his back. I mean, they can try and raid it if they want. They'll be disappointed. The auto transfer systems just put everything in my main base. I'll just try and scare them away for now. I had achieved the goal of removing this base, but something was off about it. They obviously had farm in the form of metal and stone, but I didn't get a single piece of sulfur, crude or low grade, and all the important stuff, which led me to believe they'd hit it. After the counters left, I was looking through the base, and after a while I noticed this door. Now, I'd raided into 3 of these doors, 2 of them led to jump ups, but the 3rd was technically a dead end. I assumed they would have replicated this on the other side, and unless there was a triangle hatch on the other side of that door, it had no exit. I took the last rocket I had and blew into it. Oh, I found it. I knew they were hiding loot. I actually didn't expect it to be here, to be honest, but yeah. Oh, okay, I've actually really found it. This is so something I would do. It takes a little loot hiding goblin to figure this out. Oh well, consider the base raided. That's one less problem I have to deal with. I can actually use this stuff as well to snowball into another raid. I don't quite have enough charcoal at the moment to make a bunch of rockets. I think what I'll do is just use the little I've got left, make about 8 rockets, blow into a couple little rat shacks next to satellite dish that I put on my list yesterday, assuming they're still there. Let the charcoal farm do its thing, and then once I've got another box of charcoal, I'll just make a heap of rockets and we'll send another big raid. I mean, you don't know if you don't try. It's not exactly amazing. It's not bad either. It's somewhere in the middle for 4 rockets. I've got one more I want to hit before the sun comes up, so I'll depot this and go do that. After this raid, I harvested my berries, made some teas for tomorrow's farm runs, and then went to sleep. And to my surprise, I woke up not raided. I popped an ore tea, went out on a big farm run, ran airfill for some pipes, and then turned everything into boom. I wanted to start my day off with a decent sized raid. The issue is the more you raid, the more attention you attract, and with each rocket shot, the higher I moved up the clan's raid list. There are stats for this Rustoria server that you can look up on their website, and clans look at those stat pages like a hawk to use that information to decide whether a raid target is worth it or not. And I was very quickly moving up the rockets used tab, which put a huge target on my back. After I had my boom ready, I went out for a scout to find a raid target and stumbled across a relatively new base without any externals near sewer branch that looked promising. I reckon this base is the play. It's a decent size, it doesn't have externals, it's not built up yet to the point I have to full siege raid it. I reckon with like 30 rockets I could get into the core. The problem is the fob though. So if I fob on the cliff side, I can be shot down like a fish in a barrel. So I don't want that, and I can't really fob on the satellite dish side, there's not enough build proof. And so I'm pretty much, well, I have to fob in the ice, in the water. So I'm going to need a wetsuit, and I suppose anyone who does counter that gets wet as well, that helps. And I can also use the base as like a block as cover from the cliff. So yeah, I think, yeah, when the sun goes down, I'm going to grab all my boom, and we're going to raid this. We're going to fob in the water, and send it. Alrighty, fob's done. I do make them this big because I am living next to 3 zergs, and if I do get counted, I'm gonna need something to work with. But we'll just go get the rockets now, chuck them in the car, and we'll come over and see what's in this base. I was hoping it wasn't armoured, but here we are. I'm gonna have to go get the rest of the rockets. Oh, it's got an industrial crafter on it. That's annoying. Can't get to it either. Might have to get creative. Oh yes, they've got crude. I really needed the crude. Oh, okay. Yep, they've got some stuff in here. I can also sell all these guns for sulfur too, which is even better. Oh, I didn't actually expect anything to be in there. That base was actually a bit more juiced than I thought. I didn't expect it to have that much stuff in there. Like tier 3, 90 explosives, 9 rockets, all the crude. And with all those tier 2 guns, I can just sell them in vending machines for more sulfur as well. Actually went quite well. Now I've just got to get it all back. As long as no one's outside my base with a HV launcher, I think we'll be fine. So this is the third zerg that's been living next to me. I haven't seen them as much as the God Rock guys, who I think are raiding everyone around me. But these guys are literally just straight over the hill on the other ice lake. And when I go on the Rustoria website, they're 15 deep. If they rolled up, that would be a hard raid. Honestly, all 3 zergs around me are around the same size. If any of them send a raid, it's going to be an experience. But yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a big fob. It's gotta be one of the zergs, surely. I've actually sealed it. There's a lot of them out there. The problem is now they've taken out all my compound turrets. I can't go back out there to put them down. So I'm kind of just defending from my core. If they re-breach, I've only got one turret left in the ring. I might try and get another one down here, but so far so good for now, but I've lost a lot of my defenses. It had been a long raid, but in the end, I had lost. That's not to say it wasn't close though, as I think if I got the next set of seals off, I might have actually been able to win it. But with their last rocket pummel, they took out the last of my auto turrets in the inner ring, and with no turrets left to protect me as I tried to seal, the attempts would have been futile. I'd just been raided by 13 people, and while I did lose loot, I still had my backup stashes, and more importantly, the ice lake. I didn't get the base to its complete final form, and while it did hold strong here, I really wanted to see what it was capable of when it was 100% completed, but for that I needed more time and to rebuild. I planned to do 90% of this rebuild by raiding, so I went down to Arctic to get comps for rockets and other things I would need for a few raid bases, went out on a few big farm runs, and within about 5 hours I had the base fixed up and enough rockets to send a few small raids. At this point in the wipe, I had more raid defenses than any other video prior to this and thought it couldn't get much better, but boy was I wrong. That raid defense was just the beginning of some of the most intense days of Rust I've ever had, and honestly, the next few days in this wipe could have been a video that held up on its own. So strap in, as I was about to lay waste to this entire area and in turn become the primary target of a 20-man zerg. Alrighty, the base is in a decent spot. It's not quite where it was pre-raid, but we're getting close. I had a bunch of loot stashed, so I'm going to go recycle that and then get a few auto turrets from outposts for my base to replenish the ones I lost, and also some for a fob. And I've also got about 11 rockets I think. And when I get back, we'll look for a few profit raids and hopefully snowball back into a base full of loot. That's one more thing ticked off the rebuild list. I'll get these back, set them up during the day, look for a raid target, and by the time the sun sets again, so next night cycle, I want to be raiding something. Oh, look at that. A trip down memory lane. There's still a foundation left from my old fob. I do want to raid this base next to me. It is decaying now, but I don't have the rockets for it. I've only got 11. I think we just hit that base in the water, that little built up 2x2. It's relatively new, could be full of farm. Yeah, bugger, it's only 4 rockets. When the sun goes down, we're going to hit that base. Oh, but he's actually in there. Oh, he's gone AFK for night, poor dude. Alright, it's all mine. Let's see what's in here. It's actually just like a nice spread of everything. You can tell they've just started, they haven't sorted anything out. I actually need pretty much everything in these boxes to rebuild with. I'm pretty low on just about everything except for like 5 rockets. This is actually really good if I can get this back. That is a pretty good haul for 4 rockets, I must say. I'm glad that base had a bunch of high qual in it, because I don't have a lot of it, and I lost all of my raid defense kits in that raid yesterday. And I also used a bunch of high qual to, in the defense to fortify up the side of the base, so now my upkeep's ridiculous. I think I'm just going to spend a bit of time making kits, kitting out the base. I'll do some farm runs, get a few more rockets, and as long as that fob stays on the ice lake, I should be good. I don't think anyone will raid me with it there. And then I think in a few hours, I'll raid that base that I ran past. The walls on it should have decayed. I was going to raid it yesterday. It is decaying. I think I'll just let the outer ring decay and then just blow into it and hope it's loaded. What? Oh my god, what is this base? This is unreal. This has got to be one of the most loaded 2x1 cores I've ever raided. Like, there's so much stuff in here. And I'm actually raiding for profit right now. I'm not raiding for the challenge. I actually need all this loot. This is huge. This pretty much gets me right back on my feet. Almost to the point where I probably have more than before the raid. And with that box of metal, I'll be able to honeycomb, fortify, build up everything I need. And this is like the perfect raid for me right now. That is insane. There's even more up here. This is like the base that just keeps on giving. I had hit the motherload raiding this decay base. Normally I raid equal parts for the challenge, but also for the loot. But as I was on a rebuild, I was trying to only raid for profit, and boy did this base deliver. With the farm I'd obtained from that raid, I went over to raid a rock base, built a massive fob expecting a war from the Godrock Zerg, blew in and realised I'd raided into the Zerg's mostly empty farm base. The problem with this is I didn't get much farm from it, and now I had a massive target on my back, because when you raid a territorial Zerg's base, they don't take it too well. The day was coming to an end and I went out on a few farm runs, made an auto crafting setup to make me rockets as I slept, then logged out. It turns out when I like to sleep, everyone else likes to build bases right next to me. My area was relatively quiet when I went to sleep, but I woke up to 2 bases being built right next to me that had to be dealt with before they got out of control. I swear the guys moving in must have gone around last night and cut up all my bags, so I have literally none left. I have to go around and put them all down again. But we've got 2 new neighbours. We've got a base right where I raided that other base a few days ago. Must just be like an attractive spot to put a base, I don't know, right next to my external. And then we've got this guy up on the hill. I'm going to raid both of them today. I don't know which one I'll start with first, but I have the rockets my craft has been going through the night. Just got to figure out the best way to do it. I wonder if they're like friends or allied or something. He didn't shoot at that guy when he was building. Or that's like a main base and the base up on the hill was a starter or something to take control of Arctic. Find out soon, I guess, won't we? If they start shooting at each other, we'll know. I wonder how deep they are. That would be a hard raid. I'm still going to do it, but it'd be a hard raid. There's another group moving in. I must have like the most active build spot on the server. Like, if that base doesn't get any bigger, I'm going to raid that in the night. They've built this thing and then just kind of run off. Like, I don't know if they're like on a big farm run or rig or something, I don't know. If they're not back by the time the sun comes down, I'm going to blow into this. It's only 2 C4. It was always going to be a bit of a gamble. You don't know till you try. I thought there would be more in there, but at least it wasn't nothing.
If you got offline, we raid you. Wait. Where is this? Okay.
Oh, here we go. What are these idiots doing? There's like 2 of them, 3 max. Are you just gonna grief me to get an online? Is that your plan? It ain't gonna happen. I didn't show it all because I couldn't be bothered censoring it, but I had a griefing duo, possibly trio, living next to me trying their hardest to bait an online. But I'm not going to online raid you if your strategy is to sit there spamming racist crap and trying to grief me. Instead, I turned my attention to the other base on the hill. I noticed it wasn't always manned, so I assumed this was some sort of base by a group to overwatch Arctic. For some reason, this one random clip was corrupted, but I ran up to the base and C4'd out their external to get complete build priv and to see what sort of reaction I get. If 1 or 2 or 3 would spawn in, but no one spawned in. Given how active this area was, even if this base was not defended, I was still expecting a lot of counters, so when the sun went down, I tried to raid this base. Alright, it's about as big as a fob can get as a solo. Like, let's send it, ring the dinner bell, see who rolls up. definitely got some counters. That's not the normal time the server restarts. It's actually awkward timing. Lucky I got a good computer I can load in fast. Look at that, the server restarts just respawn the trees. I don't know if it's good or bad, but hopefully I've got enough time to try to get a turret in this breach. I've got build priv, it'll at least cover it, and then I can fight these counters. I think the third guy just ran into that turret in the breach. Oh, he actually did. I've got power here, so I'm just going to pump it out. That way I only have to do one run with a pipe tool and not risk running loot. I've got counters everywhere, and that way I can just pipe it into the fob, jump in the car and drive away with it. Assuming they don't raid the fob. As suspected, I don't think that base was a main base. It had a box of guns, some GP, but nothing crazy, but I at least now had gotten rid of the base that could see my roof and the entire ice lake. My rocket making factory had been going through the night, and I still had about 35 rockets left over, which was more than enough to blow a hole into my toxic neighbor's 2x2. I packed up my raid base, waited for the sun to set, and went straight back into another raid, but as mentioned earlier in the video, the more you raid, the more you become a target, especially if the thing you raided belonged to a 20-man zerg. We're pretty well good to go. Fob's done. I just want to quickly see how many counters we've got before I bring the rockets over. Oh, he's got a launcher and also a spear in his head. Well, Fob's finished. I've got control back. I also have my roof. I can see everything. So I reckon we just send it. Just blow in, see what's in there.
Wait.
Why would you just try and grief someone for like half a day and then just log out with all that farm? I don't even know these guys. I'm like complaining it's mine now. What? I didn't even see that one. 500 crude. I actually think I profited off this raid. It's not what I expected at all. I piped everything from that raid straight into my open core and was now sitting on a serious pile of loot. I opted to summarise this next raid instead of showing the whole thing, as it was quite uneventful, but I sent one last big raid on a base closer to the Godrock Zerg, managed to get in quickly and seal. A few of the Zerg players that were online come over to counter, realised I'd already sealed, took one look at my big ass fob, and then left. At this point in the wipe, I'd shot more than 200 rockets, had just survived a Zerg raid, and had pretty much removed any decent sized base near me that posed a threat to my ice lake. I thought this wipe was over for me at this point. I'd been playing for a while and was pretty fried and started to wind down, but little did I know, a certain Zerg living in a Godrock wanted to mount one more final challenge for my ice lake. Oh, this is so cool. I've bedazzled the base. I gotta give it Christmas vibes, it's almost Christmas. But I think I might just do like a little base tour actually and just walk through the logic of the design of this base. I've never actually done it, and now that it's pretty well near its final form, best time to do it. Essentially this base is like one giant trap base by deception. Like, for a solo base to defend a Zerg raid, you need to have like multiple layers of like where you can fall back to defend from. And the first layer on this base is the outer compound. It has 6 turrets in the outer compound protected by chain link fences. So if you breach the stone wall, you have to take the time to get rid of the auto turrets, and that opens you up to grenade spams. So while you're doing that, I'm just sitting there throwing grenades at you, and then I can throw smoke grenades every now and again as well, just to make it even harder for you. And then once you get rid of the compound turrets, you then breach the wall, and most clans I've played against, they don't rocket up, they rocket middle of the base, which is straight into the inner peaks. So they're going to rocket into the inner peaks, and then there's turrets in there they have to deal with. But while they have rocketed up, they don't take out the foundations. So I can just throw smoke grenades and just seal off the foundations. I make sure I armor them. And then eventually, if they use enough rockets, they'll get rid of the 3 inner ring auto turrets, and that's the second layer of defense gone. And then you're forced into the third layer of defense, which I didn't have in the last Zerg raid. I hadn't finished it yet. But the third layer is like the honeypot. It's this open core. It looks enticing. Once you get up here and you get it, you're like, oh, I've got main loot. But then these 3 retake rooms on the side of the open core, I can just switch turrets on, jump up in peaks and rocket you and grenade you. And you think you're safe in the open core getting all the loot, but really it's just another part of the trap. And then eventually, if they do raid the outer wall rooms to get rid of the beds, then you're in the last layer, which is the attic up the top. But once you get to the attic, you're not doing well. So yeah, it's pretty much the design philosophy behind this base. It served me well over the year. I've kept adding to it and adapting. It still has a few flaws I need to figure out, but for the most part, it's in a pretty good spot. I don't think there'd be many base designs that are better at dealing with Zerg raids as a solo or duo than this. And that's not being arrogant, I just genuinely think so because I've tested it, watched a lot of videos. But yeah, it's been a big day, to be honest. I've used about 100 rockets, raided like 5 people, and I'm absolutely fried, so I think it's time for bed. That's a lot of launches to wake up to. I think they might have put a pretty big hole in the base already. I have to get a nade spam off and go down and have a look. I don't know how I got that foundation off. Like, they're practically foundation wipe my core. I'll go for another. Oh, never mind. Look at my base. I don't think there's a whole lot left to defend in the core. Might have to fall back to the open core and bait him into the honeypot and go from there. I think I got like 5 or 6 in that nade spam. It's like a graveyard. I just gotta go run these kits into these retake rooms. I might be able to hold the open core. I mean, that was optimistic. I've still got my retake rooms though. I think it's not over yet. This raid is off tap. It's going to be one of the most hectic raids I've ever had in my life. They're well and truly stuck in the honeypot. This raid's on a knife's edge at the moment. I can still win it. Where's my base gone? This is how you beat this base. You just remove it off the map. This raid never ends. This is back and forth. I've got control back of the core. It's not over yet. All my loot's still here. Oh no. I hear a scrappy. It hasn't been long enough for them all to just get in and leave. It only means one thing. They're bringing back more boom. What can you do? Like, they've just blown the whole core out and the attic as well. And like, I've lost 2 of my retake rooms. There's no base left to defend. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The base is done. But numbers win in the end. When in doubt, get your rockets out. But yeah, I'll call the wipe there, I think. It's been a good one. If you like it, comment, subscribe, do all that sort of good stuff. I'll see you next wipe. And once again, thanks for your continued support.